Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 722 for Tuesday, the 11th of March, 2025. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me today is...
Back by popular demand and only do free shows for everyone because I'm a man of the people, it's Mr. Peebs.
Back by unpopular demand, it's Sensei Switch.
It's all good, baby. It's all good. So the other way that you can listen, if you are a freeloader like Mr. Peebs here, who has access to my Patreon account, you can listen live. So if you go to twitch.tv/Webby360G, Sunday night, 7:30 p.m, you can listen live and join in on the chat like our good friend Dougster is at the moment. Big shout out to Dougster. Hello. So, yes, that is one way of doing it. I've had a busy week, really. Work's been kicking my ass, but I've managed to get some gaming in. And I've also been busy with my boy. I've built him his first PC. 7 years old, and he's got his own gaming PC. What a lucky lad. I tell you.
I just had visions of like it being made out of cardboard and stuff, you know, like sticky tape.
Yeah, so I wasn't actually planning on this. So a little bit of a backstory. His older brother Evan, who's like 20, he's in his late 20s now. He moved to Japan last week, and
Nice.
left a load of his stuff here, including a lot of old PC parts. So we left a motherboard, CPU, RAM, power supply. So all I had to buy for Marcus was I already had spare hard drive, so I had to just buy him a case and a cooler because I've already got the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. I already had all those bits anyway. The graphics card I bought him, it was a GTX 1660 Super. I got that for 80 quid off Facebook Marketplace, and the case is a little Lian Li case that was 70 quid, and that's all I had to spend. I know, so that's actually not too bad really. So it's got an i7 9700K, a 1660 Super, so he's mega happy. So for those of you listening live, I'm going to just show you. This was me and the kids on yesterday. So I'd obviously got the PC built for him, and then Aris wanted to get involved. And so I brought an Xbox upstairs as well, and there was all three of us all in a line on the desks playing Minecraft. Like an internet
cafe.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, so yeah, I was really pleased with that. So it's, you know, and it's more not just for gaming, but obviously for learning as well. So he actually had to help me build the PC. That was part of the plan for building it. So I had him next to me, and he was putting the RAM sticks in, and I was teaching him about what all the components do, and he helped me do the like a lot of the stuff on it, which is pretty cool. So yeah. It was a bit. The only hairy bit was doing the thermal paste on the CPU, because that stuff can get everywhere and little hands. But no, I was really pleased with it actually. So yeah, so we've got it built. It tucks behind his little monitor. Yeah, so it'd be great for learning, great for gaming, and yeah, we managed to get 3-player Minecraft going. All had a screen each, as I said on yesterday, and that was really good. And to be fair, my daughter, she's only 4, so she hasn't really done a lot of gaming, but they do pick up things quick, like how to use a controller and stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty cool actually. So yeah, that's bit that, you know, that was my Saturday morning before we went out and stuff. Was building it. Took about 3 hours, and then we didn't game anymore for the rest of the day. We went out and stuff, but. Yeah, it was cool, man. The only thing is, obviously, I can't game share with him, so I had to get him Game Pass, for the PC. The PC Game Pass, that's a tenner a month for the PC Game Pass.
Got to get him earning some money, mate. Get him do the command chores around the house.
Yeah, but it's only so I could get the gaming in with him. You know what I mean? So because I've already downloaded Halo and Forza Horizon and stuff onto it, so I'm going to have some games of that at some point. But I thought, for learning as well, doing his homeschooling and that, I thought perfect. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
is he actually good at games now? Or
he is good. Yeah, he is really good. Yeah. So, yeah, he's completed a lot of games already. So, like, he plays quite a lot of Astro Bot on the PS5 as well. It's his favourite game at the minute. Has been since I got it actually. And he's actually completed it on his own twice. He's got 2 saves where he's completely hammered it and completed it. Yeah, and the other save is mine, which, so the first time we did it together, then the other 2 times he's just done it all on his own. Yeah.
Oh.
So all is good. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that because that was pretty fun. I think I got a picture of the build somewhere. Can't remember now. Yeah, so there's the build there. So with the side off, little fan, little graphics card. Yeah, it's just like adult Lego, really, just slapping it together. For those of you that are into PCs, though, because obviously Peebs and Darren, you won't really care. The only annoying thing was I downloaded Windows 11, but because the motherboard's quite old, it wouldn't take Windows 11, so I had to download Windows 10 instead. That was the only thing that was the annoyance. So I'm going to have to there is a way of getting Windows 11 on the older hardware, but I'm gonna have to do that in a couple of weeks or whatever. Can't be fucked to do it now. But yeah, it was pretty nice. It was nice. It was a bit of bonding, father-son bonding, bit of gaming, and then obviously my daughter got involved. So yeah, it was good. So that was that. So Peebs, have you been playing anything while you've been away from us?
Well, yeah, I'm still plodding along with God of War. I don't know how long it is, but I've done, on my game time it's saying 17 hours, 32% completed, but I don't really know how it works because there's parts of the map and stuff that is inaccessible early on, I'm guessing you can go back and back on yourself and collect things and do other bits and bobs, but yeah, I know this sort of got, it didn't get a lot of hate. I'd say hate's a strong word, but a lot of people said, well, it's not what they expected. It wasn't as good as the last one, or it's very similar. And I get that, but I'm still really enjoying it. I just, obviously it looks beautiful and everything, but yeah, I'm liking the gameplay, the hack and slash and stuff. Sometimes the puzzles get a little bit tedious. I'd rather it just be sort of more combat. But yeah, I'm liking it. So yeah, that should hopefully complete that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I can't really say too much more about it really, because obviously we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean that was a weird one for me because I remember when it went on sale at Tesco's before Tesco stopped selling games, and I got the missus to pick it up for me for £30.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I think I only played it for about 2 hours, and then I just fell off it. I don't know why, but I just don't know. I just couldn't get into it for some strange reason. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit of that with me to start off with. The first couple of hours, just thought, you could easily quite put it down and not go back and, forget about it. But I think you just got to get over that hill bit and just carry on. I mean, have you still got it, or did you flog it?
Oh no, I've still got the disc. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's on Plus now. Hence why I'm playing it. But,
yeah.
They added free content to it as well, didn't they? The weird sort of like roguelike mode.
Yeah, I think Nick mentioned it the other week when I was on. It's on there because it's downloaded. I can see it on the main menu, but I've not gone into it yet. I don't really know what it entails or anything. But I thought I'll have a look at that after once I've completed it.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Nice.
But I think it's got its own trophy list, so it's worth having a look at.
Awesome, Peebs. Glad you're enjoying. Nice. What about you then, Darren? We haven't seen you for 2 weeks. You must have got some gaming in then.
Oh yeah, I've played quite a bit actually over the past fortnight. So I'll start off by talking about a very quirky game that I played the demo of probably about 3 weeks ago now.
Yep.
And that is a game called The Promise Mascot Agency.
Oh, I think you mentioned this to me actually, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
This looks weird as fuck.
It is a very fun and strange game. So you basically play an ex-Yakuza who's actually voiced by the same voice actor as Kiryu from the Yakuza games.
That is so weird.
And you have now basically taken over a love hotel in a rundown sort of town that's also being overseen by like a corrupt politician. And this town is basically like a home to like reject mascots. And you set up your own mascot agency in the town to try and bring everything sort of like back up.
Yeah.
As it were. You team up with a mascot of a severed finger called Pinky.
Right.
Who's like constantly flipping you off and basically having a bit of an anger management issues. And you basically go around recruiting other dejected, weird mascots and sending them on jobs. So it's kind of like part open world, but not fully. It's very arcadey. You spend all of your open world time driving around in your van, which is like this old little beat up flatbed. And the rest of it, it's kind of like a management sim per se. So when you get things going, you choose which mascots to send on which jobs. You can run into issues during these jobs, like the mascot gets stuck in a doorway, or they start getting beaten up by the crowd.
Right, weird.
So you then end up sending handlers with them that can basically help them get out of these problems. You get the first one given to you, and some of the others you find dotted around the town like you do some of the other sort of mascots. One of them was like called Signpost Man, and I think he's just like this sort of like Sentai hero type that's literally covered in like all these traffic signs. And it plays all these cutscenes for obviously when that's going on. But a majority of the time you are driving around in the van with your little mascot guy on the back. It's got a very sort of 70s, 80s aesthetic to it. It even has it with the visual look of it, but you can turn that off in the graphics options if you don't want that. If you want it to be a bit more sharp. Because it's sort of got like this old thing, and you just sort of drive around, you're opening up areas, you find like weird collectibles like old DVD anime collections and stuff, and like karaoke songs, and it's all very sort of like old Japanesey karaoke songs as well.
Oh, okay.
The mascots are completely bizarre. There was one I picked up that basically he got sacked because he loves uncensored porn.
What the fuck?
And it's his quest to create a world where there's no more like pixelated out parts in porno.
Oh my god! Oh, yeah, because that's the thing in Japan, isn't it? Yeah.
It's only in Japan, that the pixelation sort of thing happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I found the whole thing like very fun.
Yeah.
To sort of like play, because it's like a timed demo. This demo I think is on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Right.
I think it gives you
Okay.
like an hour and a half or something like that.
I'm surprised
And
that
basically.
I'm surprised the consoles allowed it with all this sexual stuff in it.
Well, it's only sort of sane. It's not seen.
Right. Okay.
It's just in the dialogue and things like that. So you don't actually obviously sort of show it. It's just to show these people are pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But they're technically not people. They're actually living mascots.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like I say, I was having a lot of fun just driving around collecting stuff, because you can like find money dotted around which you can then use to purchase upgrades and stuff. You've got a guy who has like a mechanic shop, and he can do upgrades to your car so it can like have boosts or grow wings so it can like glide from high places.
Yeah.
and like I think I had to chase like ghost kitsune, which are like foxes, around and try and capture one of them. And when I did, he gave me an upgrade, which was I can now fire Pinky, the mascot, out of a cannon on top of the roof, which will smash down barriers to give you access to other things and other items behind it. And you can also use them at range to smash like the signs of the corrupt mayor that are dotted around. They're kind of like the billboards that you got to smash for sort of like, you know, the usual sort of like you've smashed 1 out of 49 billboards kind of thing. But this isn't going to be a full price game. This is like I imagine it's going to be around that £20 to £30 sort of price tag.
Yeah.
Because it has that sort of indie-ish thing. My only gutted thing is I don't think this is going to have a physical. I think it's just literally going to be a digital only thing. But it's so unique in what it does that I couldn't help but sort of like fall for its charms in a way. And I was like quite depressed when like the timer was running down on the demo.
And did you play the demo on the PlayStation?
Yeah. I mean, I can't see this running any different on any other platform. Like the style and everything it's gone for, you don't need, as far as I'm aware, anything super powerful to run this.
What about you, Peebs? Do you think you're going to try the demo on your PS5?
Doubtful.
I could just hear Colin in the background going, "How Japanese is it?" Yeah,
very
super Japanese.
Yeah.
Cool, mate.
Yeah,
no, it looks
I'd
interesting.
Say check it out. I think you'd like it, Webby.
I do have a thing for the weird Japanese games, so probably would like it, to be honest.
Have that exact sort of weird humour that the Yakuza and stuff are known for, and things. And as far as I'm aware, all of the people that actually do the voices of the mascots are pretty well-known people in either like the anime industry, or I think one of the mascots is even voiced by Shuhei Yoshida as well.
Nice.
So there seems to be a lot to lot of them to collect. Sorry, and when you bring the map up, you could see like the other areas of the map that go off.
Yeah,
you just sort of start in the first sort of area, and I didn't even explore all of that in the demo either. I was just kind of explored one sort of portion of it.
Yeah.
Also, or I was sort of going back and forth.
Cool.
So yeah.
Nice, mate. All right, well, I'm going to talk. Well, since we're on the Japanese themes, I'm going to talk about the one Japanesey game that I've been playing, and then that's my Japanesey chat out the way. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, still playing that. Got about 20 or so hours in it now. I'm really loving it. The pirate ship battles are so much fun. It is like
they look really fast in comparison to like a lot very arcadey. We'll say
it is super arcadey. Like you're a pirate ship with sails, but you got boost and like jets coming out the back of your pirate ship, and when you upgrade them later on, your cannons can be like laser cannons and shit like that. So obviously, because it's set in like modern day, it's just a weird thing. But no, I'll tell you what, my kids was mainly my daughter, so I was playing it, and then I decided to do like one of the karaoke, because like in the Yakuza things, you got the karaoke things, and it's like, and what it is like, Peebs, it's like your character is singing karaoke, but it's like Guitar Hero, so you've got to press the buttons on your controller in time with obviously that line on the screen.
Yeah.
So weirdly enough, Eris walked past as I was doing one of these. She was like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this." And we ended up doing this. I ended up going through pretty much every song in the jukebox for over an hour with her sitting next to me, just laughing, because obviously, like, a lot of the songs are in Japanese, some of them are in English, but I don't really take much notice of the background, what's going on with the dances and stuff like that, because I'm concentrating so hard on the button presses, right? But she was laughing her head off because, you know, like, your dude will be singing and then it will go to like a full-on like stage show with dancers in the background or silly things happening, and she was loving it. So So that was pretty cool. But apart from that, I'm just really enjoying the game. I've not really done a lot of the story. There's 5 chapters in the game. I'm only on chapter 2 now. I had a look on howlongtobeat.com, and you can complete the game in under 20 hours quite easily. And I've done over 20 hours because I'm only on chapter 2 out of 5. And that's probably because it's like these sort of games, I just really get hooked on doing the side stuff because there's so much to do. I think I mentioned this last week
for you.
Darts and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you got like darts, pool. You got this thing called Dragon Kart, which is like a rip-off of Mario Kart. You've got Crazy Delivery, which is just Crazy Taxi, but you're on a bicycle instead. You got this other one where it was the same in the previous Yakuza as well in Hawaii, Infinite Wealth, where there's this, even because it's Japanese and they've got weird sense of humor, there's this one where you get on a tram trolley going around the city, and you got to it's called Sicko Snap, right? And you got to take photos of dudes dancing in their pants. But they're wearing these really silly masks and they're doing like thrusting their bits about in their pants and that, doing silly dances. It's so fucking funny.
And your daughter play this?
No, she was just watching me like doing the singing bit.
Doesn't know what's going on fully. Like, it's
but
man being silly, isn't it?
But it's just the way, because it's that if you kind of understand the Japanese sense of humor, you'll kind of get it. It's
very slapstick.
Yeah, just really silly, really funny. I mean, the whole game is not serious really at all. I mean, it is because usually in the Yakuza games, you've got a real serious kind of mafia storyline there, but then all the side stuff's just really silly. Whereas this, you've got pretty much like 99% of the game is really silly, but it's its own game, but it is actually a direct sequel to Infinite Wealth in some aspects, because it's in the same place, apart from like it's in Hawaii. And a lot of returning characters a lot of characters return, and stuff is mentioned from the last game as well that I'm not going to spoil, but it is kind of its own thing as well. But I just really like it because it's like you're sailing the high seas, you're visiting these islands, you're collecting treasure. It's got a really cool kind of main story, which I'm really, from what I've played so far, is really cool. But all the side stuff is just absolutely fantastic. And I think I mentioned this last week. It's just gaming is about having fun, right? And this is just pure fun all over. It's just everything is just fun to do in the game, and that's what keeps me hooked on it. So yeah, it's a fantastic experience, and it runs. I'm mainly playing it on PC. It does run well on the Steam Deck as well, which is really nice. So you can play it on there as well. So obviously it's on all the consoles.
I switched my Xbox on Saturday morning to find our very own Stuntmaster playing it on PlayStation 5, and I messaged him, what on earth are you playing that for?
What Yakuza in Hawaii?
Yes.
Is he playing it?
Yeah.
He's kept that quiet in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so he messaged back, oh no, it's awesome. So
yes.
He obviously likes it as well. So
yeah, it is fantastic. Like, because like even the fighting is really arcadey. Button mashing you can customize your characters. There's loads of stuff to this game, man. It's just so much fun.
Like shipmates as well, can't you? And things apparently.
So you recruit everyone, so you can recruit characters to your ship, and you can put them on the cannons, the side cannons or the main gun at the front, or you can have them help you visit, because basically when you go on an island, you bring crew with you to the island to fight people, or there's another load of people for boarding other ships. So I actually upgraded my game to the Ultimate Edition, and the only reason I did this was because you can get extra shipmates, and they're all the shipmates from the previous games, like Kiryu was the main character from the original games, and various other people from those games. Just to have them on my ship, because I'm a sad bastard. But yeah, it's fantastic. I've got about 60, 70 shipmates now, which is crazy. And like, so when you're going around the cities and stuff, like, a lot of these people, to recruit them, you've got to do different activities. So some of them will say, oh, give me money. Some will say, oh, you got to fight someone, or you need to be a certain level, or they give you little missions to do and stuff. So it's not just as simple as just recruiting people easily. They have their own little things. And in your base, you've got a master system with about 15 games that you can play, which is cool. And there's actual arcades in the game with real Sega arcade games that you can play as well, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, it's a full-on game, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, $54.99 on PlayStation Store, or $64.99 for the Deluxe Edition.
I picked it up for 40 quid physically. From
Hit. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, Hit is actually, like, I don't know if anyone used to use, was it Base?
Yeah, it was Base.com, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Base.com. They rebranded to Hit, and then they kind of fell off the map because I think they fell into administration. And I know I was having slight issues with, like, their deliveries and stuff. But they sort of, like, came back, and I was like, well, I'll give them a bash. And they're actually pretty damn good. They still have, like, the cheapest prices, I've found, mostly. And they will get games to you on delivery day or just before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I bought it on Steam and it was 34 quid for the standard version. And then the upgrade was like another 15, I think. So, but yeah, it is a great game. Again, Peebs, I don't know if you'd like it. I don't know. I know you don't really like your Japanese stuff, but...
Did you ever get Collie to try any of these games?
No, because I remember he loved Persona 4 Golden. So he has a little bit of a taste for the Japanese games, but I think for him, it's more the time.
He liked the combat, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the time, because he only really games on a weekend, well, our daytime, but but a lot of the time he's skiing, so he doesn't really game much anymore. And when he does, it's Warzone with Peebs and his other mates. So,
yeah.
And hot news from me.
Even that's been scarce lately.
Well, I've actually deleted it off my PC.
Well, like I said, I've cancelled my Xbox subscription at the minute, but I do plan on getting it back on.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Warzone's free to play, so...
Yes, I mean, I've downloaded it onto my PlayStation, so I could use it on that, but then obviously it just means, because all the other guys are on Xbox, it just means getting them to go into Discord chat and, they'll all start moaning. But
that's easy, though. I mean, especially...
I know.
It's literally like a button press in your party chat menu. I mean, fucking hell, mate. It's well easy.
I quite like the Discord chat now, to be quite honest.
I actually think it's a better quality audio than Xbox and PlayStation party chats.
Well, because, I've noticed you lot have all been using it for Arma Reforger, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen you in the chat a few times.
Yeah, and that's because, I mean, most of us are on PC, but there is a few on PlayStation and Xbox. So we all just jump on the Discord and have a good time.
Well, it's definitely handy for that if you're all, on different systems, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's one thing I like about modern gaming is, I think people moan that games, aren't what they used to be and that, but I think one of the positives about gaming now is the multi-platform gaming. You can be on different platforms but play the same game, like COD or Arma or whatever, online together. I think that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fact you've got Discord on PlayStation and Xbox as well now, you've got a platform to talk as well. So,
yeah,
such a good positive there. Awesome. Peebs, we're back to you anyway, mate.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't really been playing too much. I forgot I should have mentioned it from the beginning about my I purchased the PlayStation Portal, didn't I? Forgot to mention it.
Oh, yes. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, I remember looking at buying one ages ago when I had my old job and it was working away a lot because I wanted something to take away with me, which this probably wouldn't have been that good for anyway. But I don't know why. I just got into my head I wanted to buy one. I don't know why, really, because don't really need one. But I've got one anyway. I had a lot of Bing points accumulating. I had like 60,000 Bing points, and I was like, what can I use them for? Because I thought, should I just get like the 3 months Game Pass, use it for Game Pass, or rather than not having to pay for it? And I was like, oh, they do Argos vouchers on there. I thought, well, let's cash them in on Argos, and I can get this portal. So I got about 40 quid's worth of Argos vouchers, and just redeemed it against the PlayStation Portal. So I only paid 160 for it. So
It's not
too bad,
is it?
really.
Yeah.
So yeah, got it home, got it out of the box. I mean, it's a nice piece of kit. But I should have done a little bit of research on it, really. I didn't really know how it worked, to be quite honest. But basically, all it does is it just basically mirrors your gameplay, doesn't it, from the main PlayStation, basically.
Yeah.
That's all it does, really. But I was having some connection issues with it because it all sort of connects to your PlayStation and runs sort of off your PlayStation. Well, my PlayStation's up in my man cave. It's not connected by a cable for the internet. It's just runs off Wi-Fi. So then my portal then's running off Wi-Fi off the PlayStation. So it was lagging a fair bit to start off with. Did like watch some YouTube videos and like tips, and because having then go doing some research, which I should have done first, to be quite honest. But I did it after the event. But yeah, there's a lot of people having issues connecting it, and the first thing people were saying was make sure your PlayStation's connected with a cable for the internet, because that helps massively. And I thought, oh, I don't really want to have to do that because it's drilling cables up through the upstairs, and that the missus would have a heart attack if I start doing that. So I thought I'll try and get round it.
Fitted upstairs, can't you? Right.
Yeah, so a couple of guys in the Discord were like trying to help me out and said, well, yeah, you can buy these things off Amazon now, and obviously it's still not 100%, you know, because it's still running off the Wi-Fi, but they
power line
help.
adapters.
Yeah. So that is my next step. But to be quite honest, it's not been too bad lately. Someone I know who's got one, he says you can use your hotspot on your phone. So I started doing that, and that was working fine. But now, so when you switch it on, it will connect, and you can choose what internet you want it to connect to. So now I've got two connections on there. I've got my normal internet and my phone hotspot. But to be quite honest, it's been working off my normal Wi-Fi PlayStation at the minute. It still sometimes it starts up fine, and then after about 20 minutes, you can see the picture starting to distort slightly and the sound crackling a little bit, like it's struggling. And you get a little icon on the corner saying like your Wi-Fi, it's struggling with the Wi-Fi. And then what seems to happen is it seems to disconnect and then connect straight back up with a perfect picture. So it's slightly annoying, but it's literally only about 10 seconds and it's back on in it. And obviously with the PlayStation, it carries on from where you were anyway. Like when you switch your PlayStation off and come back to it in the game's where you left it, unless you physically close the game down. That seems to work a lot better on the PlayStation than it does on the Xbox. Because when the Xbox, if you don't do the close the game down, it then doesn't connect to the internet and stuff, does it? When you go back into the game, it's annoying. Yeah. But the PlayStation seems to do that a lot better. So, and then I've had it a couple of weeks, and I've been using it quite a lot, to be quite honest, because it's handy for. I mean, I'm only using it in the house, so in theory, you could just think, well, why are you not just going and playing on your PlayStation and on your nice big screen in your man cave? But it's handy for sitting downstairs when the missus watching TV, so I'm playing on it. I know you're still sort of being slightly unsociable because you're playing on it, but you're still in the same room, so you can still have a chat and stuff.
Yeah.
It's handy for like when I want to say the football's on downstairs on the big screen, and I could just play my game while the back football's on, so you're sort of doing multitasking, you're watching and playing. It's handy sometimes. Like this week, because I go to bed quite early because we have to get up, like we said earlier. it's handy to. I've been playing it in bed. The missus got the TV on, watching Married at First Sight Australia. Can't stand that program. So I'm sat next to her and I'm just playing on me Portal. The only thing is, I've been looking for sort of smaller type games because I find that they probably. I mean, I did play God of War on it, only for a short time, and I just thought, even though it's playing quite well, I think them sort of AAA titles, you need to be playing on your big screen type thing. So I'm in my head. I mean, it's not for everyone, but in my head, I'm thinking I'm going to save me Portal for little pick up and play side scrollers, puzzle games, sort of littler type games,
survivors and stuff.
Yeah, games like that. Yeah, so that got me to download like the Turtles game. There's the what's the one that was on
Cowabunga Collection?
Oh,
is it the Cowabunga
so that was
Collection?
Shredder's Revenge.
That's free on PS Plus, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, it was the Shredder's Revenge one, and then they've just put the Cowabunga one on PS Plus. Yes, I've downloaded, I downloaded the Shredder's Revenge twice because I cocked up and Stunty's already called me out on it because he thinks I'm trying to catch him up with the old trophies. I think he's panicking a little bit because I've got two trophy lists now with that same game because I schoolboy errored it. I see it on because with the Portal it basically mirrors the main PlayStation, so you can still go in the store and you can still download games, and obviously it's just downloading them to your main console and stuff. So I downloaded. I went on the store. I thought, I'll look for some like little beat 'em ups, like side scrollers or puzzle games. And see that I thought, I played it on the Xbox. So I mean, we played it all together, didn't we? You and a few others, didn't we? We completed it, didn't we, Webby?
Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, I had such a good time on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, you know what? I'll play that because it's ideal for the Portal.
Yeah.
So I downloading it and not realising it was a PS4 version. But even though, I mean, it's pixelated old style graphics, so the PS4 version and the PS5 version, they look exactly the same, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So I thought, what I'll do is I'll download the PS5 version just so it's a PS5 version, not realising that they're two separate. Like, sometimes they're the same game; it will come up as the same trophies, but this is like a PS4 version and a PS5 version, and they're separated by the trophies. So now I've got two bloody trophy lists for it. But I've completed it on the PS4 version, and then I'm going to go through it again on the PS5 version on my Portal. So,
Stunty's going to be really upset with you now, isn't he? So you're cheating on the trophies, isn't he? Double dipping.
Yeah, double dipping. Yeah, you know all about that, don't you, Webby?
Oh yes.
Just say the most famous achievement guy out there. He used to triple dip on games all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they all do, don't they? I think. But this was totally. I mean, no matter what Stunty says, he thinks I'm doing it on purpose. It wasn't intentional.
Oh, wouldn't even matter if it was, mate.
No. But
I think it's funny.
I think he's getting worried.
Yeah.
So I'm actually. At first, I thought I might have to take it back if it keeps, disconnecting and just being really. I thought, But no, it's actually working quite well now.
Well, it's just a streaming device, isn't it? And that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think now, if you're PlayStation Plus Premium, you can stream certain titles from PlayStation servers now, so you don't have to run off your personal machine.
Yeah, I think that you can. I mean, I've still not dealt
more issues.
Yeah. But it's a good little bit of kit. But like I say, it is just basically a streaming thing. It's it doesn't really do. It just basically mirrors like if I was sat here in a man cave with my PlayStation on with my Portal, and it connects to your Portal, you move in your joypad and stuff around on the Portal, you can see the main screen moving as well.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
Basically mirrors it. So yeah, it's a good little bit of kit.
It's a cool idea, I think. It is a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's an expensive, cool idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it would be. I mean, I know we touched on it last week about some, we could do with a real decent handheld for. Well, Xbox are looking at doing one, but we don't know. It's just all hearsay and rumours at the minute. But yeah, it'd be nice if they.
It'd be the Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, if the Switch 2 does, comes out and it's looks really good. I might be tempted.
I thought you said it was a kid's console, Peebs.
Well, it is. Well, the one at the minute is, but we'll see what happens with the next one. It might surprise a few people, hopefully.
I think the only handheld you need is a PC one, like a Steam Deck or a Lenovo Legion Go or a ROG Ally or something like that. Personally.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in my old job and I was working away a lot in hotels, having to stay in hotels and stuff, I was really tempted to pick up a Steam Deck or something. With this one, I don't know how. I mean, I've got a mate who still works at that place, and he goes away quite a lot, and he takes his and he just connects to his hotspot on his phone and stuff, and still plays it. I don't know how well that'd be.
Yeah, it depends how good your phone signal is, and
so that'd be hit and miss, I guess. So, but you want something. If I was doing that, I'd want something more reliable. It's going to work all the time. But But good little bit of kit. So I was playing Turtles mainly on that. Oh, and I've been playing the Dark Pictures games on it.
Oh, that's so good, so fucking good. Yeah. See, like just talking handhelds, OP. So and this is where I think the Steam Deck is kind of good for if you're in the Steam ecosystem. Like obviously you're not because you're not a PC gamer, but if you're in the ecosystem, right? I mean, I've got like 600 odd games in my library, and a lot of them are like those little indie type games, so they're perfect for like a handheld. And obviously, you just download them to your hard drive on your Steam Deck, you play them on a plane or whatever. So, in that regard, it's kind of a really cool system. But I think if you're not in the ecosystem, I think it's a lot harder because then you've got to build your library up. If you know what I mean. I mean, obviously the games are cheaper, but it's still, you're starting from scratch again. And I know that's quite a difficult thing to do for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you're liking it. I was just, I'm just not a big fan of streaming games. I still don't think it's up to the quality that I likes. You know, because I've tried the Xbox streaming. I've tried, I've tried the Xbox streaming, I've tried the PlayStation streaming, and I've tried the Nvidia one as well. And it's still not 100%.
Well, it's better than the days of OnLive.
Mate, I've still got my OnLive console in the loft.
It might be worth something one day, just to be weird.
You never know. Yeah,
I know. I had one, but I don't know what I've done with mine. I've lost it somewhere because we all got one, didn't we? They were giving them out, weren't they? At Eurogame.
It wasn't a bad little controller in that little box as well, to be honest.
Well, no, the idea was great, wasn't it? Just was probably too far ahead of its time.
Yeah. Oh, the memories.
Memories.
Anyway, let's get back to Darren then, shall we?
Right. So this past, I think it was like a couple of weekends ago, there was a game I'd ordered that arrived, and it made me dust off the old VR headset.
No way.
Yeah. So I got the old PSVR 2 back out, and I played Behemoth.
Never heard of it.
So it's basically a game where you go around killing behemoths, big, giant, massive monsters.
Okay.
And that's not all you actually do in it either, which I was quite happy to see. So you basically start off and you'll sort of fight through generic enemies and stuff like that, and you're actually progressing through a level. So the combat is pretty cool in the fact that because you've now got more than obviously just the two little wands that you used to have with the original PSVR 1.
Oh, right.
You now have the things with the grips, so you can sort of see your characters actually gripping in game, and you can sort of move the fingers about and stuff. And
that's pretty cool.
PSVR 2 is one of those things that's really weird, where things that are actually close to you are really well in focus, look really, really good. They just lose a bit of that detail as it sort of pans back.
Right.
Because I noticed this because there's parts in the game where you basically find hidden objects that are known as memory skulls. and then you basically like pick them up and you crush them in your hand, and
Okay.
it frees like a memory from the actual thing itself of like a previous adventure or whatever, and they look really nice, like the actual detail on them and everything. The combat is really fun as well because obviously you're gripping your swords, and you can like parry attacks from the enemies and knock them back and basically like smash them in the head, and your sword gets stuck in their head and you got to yank it out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which is technically, it's that same thing is in another game, and it's the same developers. I'll talk about that a bit later. So it all kind of made sense. And then everything in the game is just like super easy to sort of work out. So you sort of like grip near your chest and you pull your little scroll out, which has got like all of your stats on it and your abilities and your map that sort of tells you where you are. You just sort of like stash your weapons in your side to your left and right. So when you reach down and grab with your controllers, you just pull them out.
Okay.
And obviously you have your bow, and it's the old typical, you can stash it over behind your head. So whenever you like reach over from your back, you can pull your bow out and then start pulling arrows back with your other hand. It's really like, it's VR is one of those things that it hasn't quite caught on yet, but I wish it would, and I'm really looking forward to like future advances in the tech, because there's nothing quite like it for immersion in certain things when you're sort of like going down a tunnel or whatever and you're holding up a lit torch and you've got a sword in the other hand and you can sort of pull up round the corner and you don't actually have to go around the corner, you can lean and peek because you're in a 3D space.
Yeah, that's
there's
cool.
quite a lot of climbing puzzles in it as well, where you can sort of like use your hands and grab up onto a ledge and then kind of like pull yourself up, and it swings you up onto the ledge. I did fall to my death a couple of times in one of the areas because I had an issue with the ropes. So one of the items you'll get is like a rope caster that you switch, which is on your left hand, and you can fire it up to high objects and then pull yourself up on the rope.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And obviously lowering yourself on the rope is a different button. So you have, I think it's triangle and square on one controller and circle and X on the other one. And it's trying to remember roughly sort of where they are. So there was a few times where it was like, push this button to descend, and it's like, oh, which one's fall? And then sort of die.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a game worth checking out. It's not super expensive. If you've got VR, you've probably already played it. The worst actual part of the game I had, or the worst moment in the game, was actually fighting the behemoth.
It's a big boy
because it's a typical big boy, so it's very sort of Shadow of the Colossus-y.
Right, so it's a giant thing you got to climb up and
Yeah, massive.
Yeah,
so it's awesome, obviously, being in VR, having this like giant thing that can like crush you with its feet, like stamping around you. But then you've obviously got to get around behind it. You've got like a dodge. You can dodge left and right with, I think it's the X button, like, and a direction will do like a quick step. I always play these games, by the way, in free movement. You know, sometimes you get the games where it's like you turn and it does incremental turns.
Yeah, I think I had that when I tried Skyrim in VR.
Yes, so I always turn that off and have it on free turn, because that makes me like, because your perspective just suddenly shifts.
Yeah.
It's not too bad in all normal games, as you know, when you're playing something like Resi and you do the double tap back and you turn to face the opposite direction. But when you've obviously got like a full 3D headset on and like that happens, it's kind of jarring for your perspective to suddenly shift. And I have noticed the VR is very weird in the fact that the more I play it, the more I get used to it. So I'm getting less motion sick with it now, and I can sort of like run around and sort of do stuff in the games, because obviously you control it normally because you've got your thumbsticks on either controller. You click in your thumbstick and you run, and then you turn with the other one, kind of thing. my room is still, or where I play it, is still reasonably small.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I have to have the temporary play area, which is like the circle
Right. Okay.
that envelops around you. And it's amazing how much you actually move around in VR when you don't realise you have.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of start off playing in a certain place, and then when I like push the button on my headset later on, because there's a button that will flip what you're seeing to like a render image of what is outside your headset.
Yeah.
So you can actually see what's going on, which is awesome because you put the headset on, click that, and then you can see where your controllers are, pick them up, do the ties and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you push that button and you're facing like the cupboard or something, and you're like, what the hell? Like you've been completely turned around and you had no idea about it, because obviously you're turning sort of in the game and not in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll say. So I will say the only downside is when you have that big circular area around you, I'm sort of go out of bounds a little bit on it.
Right. Yeah.
So it sort of like comes up with that thing in the game where it sort of turns red a little bit, as if to say like, oh, you can't go here, you're out of bounds. And I'm just like, mate, that's hardly anything.
Does this interest you, Peebs, at all? Sorry, Dan. I was just like, because obviously Peebs is a big PlayStation fanboy now, and he's got the Portal, and I was wondering if the VR2 is something that would interest Peebs, because I know it's dropped price now.
It's had a price drop, hasn't it, to 400?
Yeah, I see that it had a price drop. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know, because I had the one you could get for the old Samsung phone, and I had that, and I really liked it to start off with, but then the novelty wore off. I'm not sure whether it would with this as well. And how much room do you need? Because I've got a little man cave. I don't know if you need to be like
you'll be
swinging
fine
your
in a
arms
man
about.
cave. Yeah, you'll be fine in a man cave. Like where I play stuff is just kind of like a smallish room, and apart from those slight bits where I go out of bounds occasionally, I haven't really had too many issues with it. And because obviously the thing that threw me out is every time I put on PSVR 2 in comparison to PSVR 1, I'm like, oh, I don't even need to fucking sit opposite the telly. I can stand wherever the hell I want because the camera's on the actual thing itself. I don't have to sit in front of a camera in front of my telly.
No.
So it's literally like you could be almost in another room if you wanted, as long as it's hooked up. And obviously hooking the PSVR 2 up is so much easier. You just literally plug it into the USB on the front of the system. That's it, job done. And you just have the one cord that goes to the headset, and then the headphones are kind of built and clip into the actual headset itself, and you just pop them in.
I think if it had another price drop at some point, I'd be interested. Because
it's a pity you didn't know anyone that had one that lived locally that you could just go and test it to see what you'd think.
Yeah, and then there's the other worry of, are they going to carry on supporting it, and stuff like that. I don't know how many actual games are out for it. There are a lot of games for it.
Not too many. I mean, it would be nice to get more AAA companies doing stuff with VR. I mean, the best one, hands down, that is a good supporter of it is Capcom. Like with being able to play Resident Evil 8 in full VR and Resident Evil 4 fully in VR. It's just so curious, because I will briefly say, like moving on from Behemoth, which like I say, the game had a lot of bugs when it first came out, so I think that put a lot of people off. But by the time I actually played it, it had all been patched and it all seemed to work pretty well. I've got past the first area. I'm into like the big open bit where you kind of going off into the other zones to take out the others, and you got like your room with all the trophies and stuff on there that you've picked up throughout playing through the game, the weapons that certain enemies have dropped and such. I always found the good thing is just hack at their legs, mate. Like it works almost as good in VR as it would in real life. And you sort of see all the opponents and they're like, having this good old sword fight. And just like, take his fucking legs out, mate. That'll stop him moving about, wouldn't it? So yeah, I finished Behemoth and, not finished the game, but finished playing it. And then I thought, I still haven't looked at Resident Evil 4 in VR yet. And I literally just loaded it up, went into the start point, which kind of puts you, if anyone's played it, you start the thing off like setting the game up in the little sort of ship's galley shooting range. And it teaches you how to obviously use all the different guns and load them and all of that kind of stuff. And there is an option to simplify the loading in the game so you don't have to pull the bolt back and the bolt action every time to reload it and stuff like that. But you still do have to grab the magazines out of your pouch and slap them into the bottom of your gun and then cock it back.
Right.
To obviously reload it. But it's super responsive. It looks beautiful as well. And then I sort of started the game off. The only downside is obviously all the cutscenes are played on like a screen in front of you. Because it's obviously like just done as a cutscene. So the bit at the beginning with Leon in the car with the two policemen and everything, it all just plays on the screen in front. But then as soon as it gets to the point where he moves, that's it, you're straight into the VR and you're like, oh, now I can actually experience what it would be like in reality to actually explore these locations. As grim and dark as that actually sounds per se, there's that. In fact, the worst, like thinking about it, the only part of the game where I think it was going to go proper mad is that first village shit. As you know, Webby, things go quite hectic in that at that point.
Yes.
And being in VR, having to sort of like reload in a different way and having that mad panic of like getting around things and having people jumping out of round the corners into your face and stuff. And Chainsaw Raghead, man. Like I can imagine that being quite the stress out. But yeah, that'll do with me on that. I've still got some other stuff to talk about, but I'll wait until my game time comes round.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to talk about it not for long, just quite briefly. Just a bit more of Arma Reforger. So I just want to say I want to give a big shout out to Hetro in the community. He's a little bit of a newbie to Arma, so I actually was in his first game. So he bought the game and he put a message in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, by the way, fucking join it. It's amazing. He put a shout out in the Arma chat on the Discord saying, look, Webby, I've just bought the game. Do you want to show me the ropes? Like, yeah, cool, mate. So jumped in a game, first couple of hours, just teaching him the basics of the game, which is fine. And we finished the game and he was like, oh, mate, I'm having a really good time. Like, great. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. And he's been on it nearly every fucking day since, with or without me. He's just like putting messages in the chat saying, oh, man, I'm glad I bought this game. I'm just jumping in. It's having a good time. I'm having fun. And that's what the game's about for me, man. And I like that more people in the community have picked up. There is quite a good little community of us on the Discord, which are playing it now. And I think the good thing about it is it's one of those games that you don't need people, to be online for you to play it. I always put a shout out saying, look, guys, I'm jumping on it this time on a Monday night or whatever. And people will join me, great. If not, it doesn't matter. What I tend to find, though, is I'll jump on Arma and I'll be in a game for about half an hour to an hour, and then, like, randomly, like, people I know will be joining my squad from the Discord. I'll be like, oh, Hetero's joined, or Spacebound, or just random people, Dark as Frost or whatever, just randomly just join my group in game, and I'll be like on the radio in game, hello, you know what I mean, and then we'll just go and do some supply runs, or go and kill some enemies or whatever. And I like that. I mean, what we've tended to be doing more recently is joining like a Discord channel and just having our own chat, but we still obviously use the in-game radio, because a big part of the game is that communication with your team. And I know I've mentioned this 100 million times before, so I was just going to say like one more time. Like, obviously, you got your radio in the game, but you got your platoon chat, which is for the whole team, and then you got your squad chat, which is just for your squad. And what I've been finding more recently, as I think the game's getting more and more popular now, as I think a lot more people are using the Platoon chat more than what they should be, because a few games this week has been a little bit annoying. People just having random chats in Platoon, and it's like, and then the arguments start because someone always jumps in the Platoon chat. Guys, will you shut the fuck up? And then a massive argument starts or something like that. It's just quite entertaining. But no, like, you know, really enjoying the game still. I had a really epic game during the week. Just want to mention this. So I was in a game and then that game ended. I was only in it for a short while. So I was in the next round when it started. And then during that game, it lasted just over 3 hours. And during that time, Hetero had joined and left. I think Frosty had joined and left. Spacebound had also joined and left. It was just me left to finish off the games. And because obviously the games just last until there's a winner. So that game, obviously it got quite late at night. I think it finished about 12:30 at night. So obviously everyone else had wanted to go to bed a bit earlier, but it was quite nice. It was quite funny because obviously my team had come and they'd gone, and I'm like, I'm seeing this to the fucking end. I don't care how late it is. And it was an epic game because at the beginning of the game, the American team had... So basically the way you win the game is you got to cap 5 bases, these main bases, and you got to keep them for 5 minutes. So this 5-minute timer ticks down. Anyway, so the 5-minute timer was ticking down, and I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, this is a quick game, because this was in the first hour. And then there was a guy on the American team in the text chat giving us all shit. Ah, you're shit. You know, we're going to win. Easy win, blah, 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 blah. About 1 minute 40 left into the timer ticking down. Our team had managed to capture one of those main bases, so the game was carrying on. And then the game lasted over an extra 2+ hours after that thing. Yeah, and we finally won, and we won the game. So, you know, but it was really cool because we slowly was like, right, let's get our tactic. You know, the whole platoon were in chat going, right, guys, these are the tactics we're going to do. We're going to go around this point of the map. We're going to take these bases, etc., etc. And it was a lot of fun, you know, and it was really funny because we got to the end and we won. So we're all giving it shit in the text chat. Ah, you fucking loser, you know, where's your easy win now? So it was really funny. You know, it was just the perfect way to end the game. But it was probably the best comeback I've ever experienced in that game because I've never seen a team come back like that before. It was really nice just to be part of that with my squad, you know, because we took a certain section of the island and we had some epic firefights, and it went daytime, full night time, and back into daytime again, because it has a full 24/7 day-night cycle in it. Yeah, it was really, really fun, and you know, this is something I really like about the game. It's not just the gameplay; it's that banter, you know, in the voice chat and all that as well. You know, it reminds me of those old Xbox 360 days. And I know we were talking about this, but before I hit the record button in the Twitch chat on the live stream about Peebs, and about getting it. Obviously, completely different to Call of Duty. And you were saying, Peebs, that you've watched a few YouTube videos and you think it might look a bit boring because there's a lot of walking or there's a lot of sections of no action. And there definitely is that there. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, it's all action or whatever, because that would be me just 100% just lying to you. So obviously there is a lot of downtime, but I kind of like that because there's a lot of planning involved. So like I'll spend a lot of time, you know, looking at the map and being like, and then if I'm on my own, I'll make decisions myself. But if I'm in a squad, I'll be talking to the squad saying, right, guys, this is where I want to go on the map. This is what I want to do. Let's go and do this. And what you find is, so basically there's lots of different servers on there, but I play the official ones, but there's different ones now. So you've got the official 48-player servers. So all the bases, if they've not been capped by a player team, they've got AI, and the AI on this game are fucking proper tough. But on the 128 player servers, and they're the stress test servers, there's not much AI. A few of the bases do have them, but more often than not, they don't. So if you're starting if you join a server and you're very early on in the game, when you're capping the bases, it's a bit boring because you're like, oh, I've capped a base. Oh, I've gone and capped another base. There's not really much going on. So your fun shooty times aren't going to happen until you get to that point where you're engaging the enemy players. Yeah, so you get to that kind of crux point on the map where the enemy team are also fighting, if that makes sense. So then you're engaging in some epic firefights then. So but I enjoy that because there's a lot more to the game than shooting and capturing bases. That's very a Battlefield style of gameplay. I like the kind of tactics in the supplies. So it's very, I think they're trying to emulate kind of a real war zone in a way where in a real war, you need supplies at your base to hand out weapons, vehicles, and stuff like that. So when you capture a base, it all has fuck all supplies, really. It doesn't even have enough to build a radio to expand your radio network. So what I do is I'll be in a vehicle and I'll go to a supply place, load up with supplies, and then I know when I cap a base, I'll have enough supplies to unload off my vehicle to at least build a radio. And then what you can do, if you're that way inclined, is get a truck and ferry loads of supplies to a base and really build up that base, because you can build a lot of stuff. You can build a hospital there, ammo, so you can change your loadout. You can even put a barracks down and spawn in AI to defend that base as well. So, there's a lot of, I find there's a lot of variety in the game for me, because I'm not always in the mood just to go around just shooting the shit out of people. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to go in and do supply runs for an hour, and then I'm going to go and shoot people and have those firefights, stuff like that.
Boring as.
So I know it's not your cup of tea, but it depends it depends on your play style.
When you're doing the supply runs, do you end up with people saying, "Oh, can I jump in for a lift?" And you can I'll jump out when we're a bit closer to one of the areas and stuff.
It does happen, but also there's such so much chaos in the game, so it's not going to be as easy as, I'm going to drive from A to B on a supply run, because
no, you could get sniped or something.
You could get shot. There could be mines on the road. There could be enemy ambushes. So a big tactic that happens in the game now is you'll get a squad will just camp a road that they know is like a supply run. So they'll be like, hey, you'll get ambushed. You know what I mean? So there's all these kind of variations in the game, and that's what I like about it, because you just don't know what's going to happen in your play session, because everyone plays the game so different. You'll get some of the main bases are, what a fun with the American team especially is, instead of taking a base, they'll fucking camp it and snipe it like on this hill or whatever, and it's really frustrating because you'll spawn and you want to do stuff like build something or get a car or whatever, and then snipe you dead. And you're like, fucking cunts. So then it'll be like, right, I want revenge on those motherfuckers. So I'll spawn at another place and try and figure out where they're camped, and I'll sneak up in the woods and get behind. So there's all those kind of things that you can do. It's kind of making your own fun sometimes, if that makes sense. So... and there's all these other things, like there's people that play the game just to fly a helicopter and ferry people around the map. And to be fair, that can be really helpful. So I've been in games where there'll be a guy on the radio and say, guys, I've spawned a helo. Does anyone need a pickup? And you'll go on the radio and you say, I'm at this base. I need a heli pickup. I want to be dropped off behind this main base. And he'll do it, and there'll be about six of us in a squad. We'll all jump in a helo, and he'll drop us off round the back of this base a bit far off, and then we'll be like, right, guys, we're going to sneak through the trees, and we're going to take the base from this angle. And, so it's all that kind of, that build-up to getting into that firefight. You know what I mean? Because like in COD, and I'm not dissing COD, it has its place, but it's all action, right? It is 100% action. You spawn, you die, you spawn, die, spawn, die. Whereas this is like you spawn, and you've got stuff going on before you get into a firefight and either win or
spawn,
die.
you walk around and run around for an hour, don't see a soul. Boring.
It's not like that, mate, at all. It is, that you know, and it's
and
that
these graphics on this video look like 360 era graphics. Please don't tell me that's good graphics.
I think it looks fantastic. You know, I'm playing it on PC.
Does look decent. Like when I've been seeing my mate playing it and looking at like videos and stuff. It's not like cutting edge, but it's more than serviceable.
It looks great. The lighting's amazing. Obviously, I'm playing it on PC. Obviously, the quality of my video recording isn't the best because it's toned down because obviously streaming it and that. But I think it looks great, and you got to think it's a huge map. It is fucking massive, and to have 128 players, AI, all that stuff going on as well. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was on offer
good.
over Christmas. That's when I should have purchased it. Really, I think it was on offer for about 27 quid over Christmas.
Yeah, you should have done.
Yeah.
I think once you learn the mechanics of it, because there's quite a bit to learn, like you really, I mean, if you're me, I've really gotten into it. And you know me, I normally chop and change games like they're going out of fashion. But, you know, I picked this up in January. We're now in March, and it's still my game that I just want to play all the fucking time. I'm absolutely loving it. For all the reasons I've already said. And also, if you know, I just play the official service. There's only 2 choices of maps, and I really only played the one big map. But then you've got all the modded servers, and where people have made their own maps, more different weapons, and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of choice for such a very well priced game, in my opinion. You know, and you know, it's just, especially on console, there's nothing else like it. I really don't think there is, and I just think it's because it's that good cross between milsim and accessibility that I think it's that perfect mesh where it just works, you know. But I will say though, it's not the sort of game that you can just, well, you could drop in and drop out, but I find when I'm playing it, I really want to dedicate at least an hour or two to a session just to get to where I want to be, if that makes sense. Because like if I've done quite a bit of runs or something like that, I'm just like, it's just a me thing. I feel like I don't want to leave. I want to see it to the end because I've put some effort into it.
Yeah, but the other thing that puts me off, Webby, is I know I listened to the podcast last week and you mentioned there's no progression. Obviously, there's progression in the game, but after that game, that's done. You start afresh for the next game. Whereas that sort of puts me off a little bit because you think you've just spent 2-3 hours, like you say, on a massive game, and then you might have ranked up to whatever in that game, but then when you start the next game, you know, you're starting from scratch again.
That's that Call of Duty mentality in your mind. I mean, no, I understand that. No, I do get it, but I actually like it because it brings me back to the heyday of online gaming for me, back in the Xbox 360 era with like Halo and stuff like that. Because you jump into Halo, you play some games, but there was no progression. You just knew, you learnt the maps, you learnt where the guns were, you just played it for the fun. And it's the same with this. Like, I'm playing this because it's fun. I'm not playing it for anything else. Whereas I've had experiences with COD where I've bought the battle pass and I'm like felt a bit forced to play it to finish the pass. Whereas this, I'm like, I'm playing it, I'm having fun, and I'll turn it off. And next time I load into a server, I'll start again, and I'm having fun again. And I like that. And it gives you an incentive it kind of gives you an incentive to stick to carrying on having a good long play session in a weird way, because a lot of the stuff is locked behind your level in that game now. Like, so when you build stuff, you'll be locked behind. You can't build the barracks for AI until you're a certain rank in that game. And then I think there's an update coming where you won't be able to have certain loadouts until you're a certain rank, and that's because of the supply issue. Because it does cause some arguments, especially on the American team, where people just spawn ammo things and they just spunk all the supplies in a base, just doing loadouts. You know, so I like it because it's tactical, if that makes sense, you know. So it's a great. I love it. you know, it is definitely the best multiplayer game I've played in quite a long time. So, and as I say, it's been and I haven't had one person in the Discord who's joined me as a new player and not enjoyed themselves, which is pretty good as well. So
you can be the first.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah,
it could be the first. Yeah,
it could be. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of talk about Arma again, because I think people are like, oh, fucking hell, talking about that again. Back to Peebs.
It's become the new Final Fantasy, hasn't it?
It has. Well, I've cancelled my subscription, didn't I? I've not played it in a while, so yeah.
All right.
Also got all these other games on the go, but yeah, go on, Peebs. It's your go. I'll be quiet.
Well, yeah, I've obviously talked about God of War and Turtles. The only sort of main game I've been playing this week, sort of touched on it, was the Dark Pictures game. The Devil, was it the Devil Within?
Is it the Devil Inside?
Devil Inside, yes. I played
Devil in
the
Me?
Man of Medan.
Devil in Me, isn't it?
Oh no, it could be that. Could be that.
Yeah,
The Devil in Me, yes. Yeah, the Devil in Me, yes.
Great
So
game.
yeah, you played it, have you, Webby?
I've played them all, mate. So yeah, this is the one in the hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, so I played the Man of Medan. I've done what's the other one? It's not a Dark Pictures one, but it's very similar. Obviously, you've got the Quarry one. What was the other one?
It's the same people, yeah.
Yeah, her Out of Heroes in it. Hayden Patatier, whatever her name is.
Oh, Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, that's it. So I've played them. So I've picked up these are all on PS Plus. The Devil in Me, and then there's another one, isn't there? And is it A Little Hope or New Hope or something?
Little Hope, yeah.
Next. Little Hope, which I'm going to be playing next. But yeah, this one is the Devil in Me, and it's set starts off in the hotel, and it's very interesting because it's actually based on a real killer in the 1800s in America, H. Holmes, who had like a hotel type place in America and killed a few people. And actually, there's a little there's like you can unlock interviews and stuff with the actors who play in this, and it's like there's a little documentary. It shows you all about the real life serial killer. And I actually did Google him last night in bed, and I was like reading up about him. He actually was a proper killer. So that's quite an interesting little take on it. But yeah, I really like these games, and obviously there's different endings. I mean, they're not for everyone because they're sort of, you're just walking around, aren't you, picking up things, and then there's like quick time events, but there's multiple endings. You can obviously get everyone killed. Or this, to be fair, I've played my first play. I'm on my second playthrough now, but on my first playthrough, I managed to save everyone, which is the first time in any of these games I've done that.
See, I always play these in co-op, couch co-op with my missus.
There's an option for co-op with this. I've never done them in co-op, so I don't really know how they work and how good they are.
So basically, the way it works in co-op is you choose characters that you play. So if there's two of you, say there's 6 characters, each of you choose 3 of the characters. So then it will say like Leon's turn. If me and Leon are playing, it will say like Leon's turn, and then I'll hand her the controller and she plays as a character, and you know. It's really cool. Like, these games are, I mean, they're great on your own, but I think couch co-op even better because...
Yeah, well, I've got no one to do that with.
Your missus doesn't know.
She wouldn't be interested in at all. No.
Because they're fun because obviously I think you can play them online as well. But I think it makes it interesting because the other person playing those characters, more often than not, they do things like make decisions that you wouldn't do. And then you start arguments and discussions and things. Yeah.
Well, this one, obviously, like I said, it's set in a hotel. Well, it starts off in a hotel, but it's basically like a documentary crew, and they get invited to go to this island with a big mansion on there to do like a documentary. But they've sort of been lured there under false pretenses, and then obviously there's a killer on there going around trying to kill them all. So. You know, it's a really good story, and then you know, like I say, you've got to try and save the characters and stuff, and some of the ways they can be killed is quite gruesome and stuff, and it's actually made me jump quite a few times, quite a few jump scares in it. So yeah, all round, really, really enjoyed it. It's made me, and this reason I sort of gone back to these is because I thought they'd like ideal. I thought they'd be good for the Portal.
Yeah.
Because, they're quite, slow paced and stuff, and you can just walk around. So yeah, I played quite a bit of it on my Portal, and then some of it back on my PlayStation 5. But yeah, I'm just trying to mop up some trophies on it. Trying to see different multiple endings, because there's not just different endings, there's different scenes you might have missed depending on which characters die and don't die. So you can actually miss whole scenes out stuff. So if you do a second playthrough and then make different decisions and things. So, but yeah, it's made me want to. As soon as I finish this one, I'm going to go on to the Little Hope one, which I did start, but never. I think I only did the first level, and then didn't go back to it. But so I'm going to go back to it. But that's sort of set around. Is it like the Witch Trials or something?
Yeah. That's really
like that,
good. That's really good. Yeah.
And it's good to see they're British games. So as they Supermassive, I think they're based in Guildford. So it's good to see British gaming companies still knocking out some good games.
Yeah.
And it's good the way they use like proper actors. In this one, it's the main one is the actress. She's Jessie Buckley. She's like an Irish actress. I've recognised her. She's been in quite a few British TV programs and stuff. Right. And like I said, you can unlock things in the main screen that you can go and watch, and you can see them a bit like when they put them on green screens, and they have you can see her acting, in front of it. It's really well done how so much effort and stuff goes into how they make these games. It's quite interesting to see behind the scenes, how they make them. But they're really good games. So like I say, and they are making a new one, and this one's a bit different to the others because it's set in the future. I think it's set in space.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it looks wicked.
Yeah. So I can't remember what it's called. Something. Oh, I did look because I was going to say it, and I can't remember what it's bloody called now. But yeah, that looks interesting. And I don't know when that's actually out.
Directive 8020. It's out.
That's it.
2nd of October.
Directive. Oh, right. So, yeah, that would be interesting. So I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a survival horror, apparently. So, yeah, that'd be cool. But, really good games. And they're like on PS Plus at the minute, so I don't know if they're on Game Pass as well. I think they might be, mightn't they?
I think they were. Don't know if they are now.
They keep chopping and changing and swapping.
Yeah, they do.
It's like Netflix shows and stuff where they skip between Amazon and Netflix, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me. And obviously, I've been doing a little bit of Hot Pursuit as well, which I mentioned the other week. Still trying to plug away on that and trying to get as many trophies on that as I can and finish the campaign as such. I think there's like you can rank up to 20 on both the police and the racing cars. Well, about rank 11 on both at the minute. So keep plugging away on that. But yeah, that's my gaming all done.
Nice. What about you then, Darren?
Yeah, got a few more to talk about. Another game I played after playing Behemoth. I noticed that the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners PS5 or PSVR 2 version was on sale. And I own it on the PS4. But I didn't particularly like the fact that you just had the weird wandy things.
Okay.
So I think I played it for like 10 minutes and then stopped. But this is obviously an updated version that's compatible with PSVR 2 because obviously the PS4 VR stuff doesn't work.
Is this the one Stunt you played and absolutely said it was absolutely awful?
I don't know. There was one that you played back in the day, wasn't there, Peebs? You Chivo-hawed it.
Yes.
Even though it was known to be horrendously bad.
Yeah, back in the days of playing any old shit for Chivos.
But after playing this, I can see exactly why Behemoth is by the same studio, because it pretty much uses the same kind of inventory system, etc. Where you have your left and right weapons stored by your waist. You just reach down to them to use. But it's pretty damn good. I'm really enjoying it, actually. So you start off in a graveyard area. which then eventually becomes your base. And you then use this base to go off into different mini-maps of areas. Kind of like you did in Dead Island 2. Where it's not full open world between the zones, etc. So you sort of load into an area and you're there doing missions or just scavenging all the time while dealing with obviously zombies and other humans, some of which could be just hostile to you off the bat, like demand stuff off you or they'll shoot you, etc. So it's like, no, I'll just shoot you back. But I will say going around all the houses, being able to like literally grab and open cupboard doors, grab stuff out to take. You're literally opening all the drawers and everything to look for stuff, and there is actually things there. Each item you take is also broken down into separate components, which you can either, like if it's a weapon, you can either use it or you can trash it back at your base for the component points because there's crafting benches there. So this is a game where basically you have a kind of time limit when you go into these zones, which is the watch on your arm. And after a certain amount of time, like it starts to turn dark. Or to that area, it didn't actually look darker when that actually happened, but more zombies start massing about. So it can be sometimes a bit of a mad dash to get back to your boat to leave the map.
Okay.
But yeah, you go into these zones and you've got that time limit to basically do what you want to do and then get back out, go back to your house, cook, craft weapons, etc. And sleep, which is one of the only main downsides I will say. Like the saving of the game, I think it only saves the game when you travel to a new area or sleep. Like you can't save it at any other time.
Oh, right, that's a bit... Okay.
So it's the thing I sort of put on for like a burst of like a sort of like 45 minutes or so gameplay. But there is like other little areas as well I found that you can explore near your base camp at night. So there's like an underground sort of tunnel which like filled with water that you can travel through and get to like another hidden area.
Okay.
With a safe there. Obviously as well there's safes dotted around and everything that you can, if you help certain survivors out, they'll give you the codes to the safes. Or there might be clues scattered around the world that go on your journal that will give you hints. And you literally go up and you do the safes exactly what you would do, like point and click.
Oh, okay.
Exactly where all the buttons are. So I mean, it's a fantastic game for like how interactive the world actually kind of feels. Although there is a lot of, we'll say like just the environment itself that you can't pick up and fully interact with.
Right,
But there will be items sort of dotted all over the place that you can.
It looks pretty cool, man. The way you put the things in your backpack's pretty funky. You hold your backpack up as like a little circle and you place it in.
And you just pop things in. But if you don't want to waste time doing that, you can just grab it and toss it over your left shoulder and it just puts it into the backpack.
That's cool,
lets you know when it's full. I only found that out the other day. Like I've been pulling my backpack out all the time and being like, yeah, I'll take that and put that in there. Because the backpack space is limited. I think I've only got 27 slots of things that you can pick up. But I've noticed the best things you can actually pick up are like metallic little canisters.
Okay.
Because they're filled with like tons of materials in comparison to anything else you can kind of pick up. But yeah, you've got obviously like you've got for combat, you've got guns, shotguns. I haven't got too much into the guns. I've just been going on with the revolver. But it took me ages with the revolver because I was constantly trying to load it, but it was only putting one bullet in at a time.
Oh, okay.
But because it's a 6-shooter, you've got to push one of your buttons to pop the chamber out, and then you slot the bullets into the chamber, and then push the button to snap it back in.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's wicked.
That's what I mean. There's an interactivity to this that is kind of infectious.
Yeah, that's wicked. That I like that. Yeah.
And also, I've heard the second one is better, like visually, than what this one is, and I think this one does a good job. It kind of skirts the line with semi-realistic, semi-comic-y.
Yeah. Okay.
in a way. Like the characters have that kind of look from the Telltale.
Yeah, I
Dead,
can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, even when you're fighting the zombies, if one comes close to you, you can literally just grab it by the head and then stab your knife into it. But you have to kind of stab it in and then push it further in to puncture it.
Right.
And then you've got to yank it out of the head as well, like afterwards. There's some, like I say, it's pretty cool. And like I said, also the aspects of VR where you can literally go and peek around corners and stuff. And you've got like a torch that you can turn on, but you have to shake it to keep it charged.
Okay.
So there's like just cool moments where you're sort of like going through the, like say, certain area and you've got your torch out and a big axe in the other hand.
Nice.
And you can double hand stuff by obviously two gripping and swinging it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the second one, which like I was going to say is supposed to be like better for the VR. That's currently £8 on the PSN.
Wow, not bad at all. Nice.
So it's like, yeah, I'm very interested, but I'd have to obviously complete the first one first. I don't think it's like super long.
Yeah.
I don't know how many days it lasts because every time you sleep at night, it comes up with a message saying the number of dead have increased and the number of scavengeable items has also decreased.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's been other people taking stuff, or that's them sort of knowing that, yeah, you've already raided that area of that house, so when you go back there, you can't do it again.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Looks cool, man. You've been playing a lot of VR.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. It's like I say, once you get into VR properly, it is a fantastic medium that could be really, really good.
Yeah.
But there's still stuff to be ironed out.
Oh, yeah.
In it. But when that gets better, that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We've got breaking news. Death Stranding 2 is out on June 26th.
Well, that's not far away, is it?
No. Well, at 9 o'clock tonight, it's now on the PlayStation channel. There's a Death Stranding panel going on at PlayStation Presents in Texas. It started at 9 o'clock. They've just had... well, it's not on there, is it, at the time? About 10 minutes or so of like really weird, interesting looking gameplay and not a new stuff. Looks completely and utterly out there, as you'd expect from a Kojima game.
Yeah, so I never finished the first one. Yeah, I won't be picking this up, but it looks interesting as fuck though. Yeah. Cool.
I will briefly mention as well the Battle Pass for Street Fighter 6.
Oh, yeah.
For some random reason, it's just Ace Attorney themed.
That's weird.
It's very, very strange. And I suppose I should talk about Monster Hunter Wilds.
Go on then, tell us about it. It's been a smash success. It's sold like over 8 million copies.
Yeah, I think it's Capcom's biggest selling game.
I was not expecting it to be that big because when I played the demo, I was a little bit like, me.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. But at the same time, it means like, shit, we're going to get more of this.
Because I was thinking this because obviously you're a big fan of the series, Darren.
I love the series, yeah.
And obviously it's quite a big departure in gameplay from what the other games were like. So because I read a few reviews saying that fans of the series might not be happy with this.
Well, they got that right.
Right.
But I won't say I'm not happy with the whole game.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of aspects of it I'm not happy about.
But you're still enjoying yourself, though.
And I'm still enjoying myself because it's a Monster Hunter game, so it's kind of that thing.
Mm.
So basically, this is so heavy story focused.
Oh right, okay.
At the start, so you're basically kind of going from situation to situation, meeting all the indigenous people of each zone you go to. learning how amazing their indigenous cultures are, and fighting the monsters that are in those zones. And it just sends you to different parts of the map, because it's kind of cool in the fact that each of the areas is connected by a single loading screen. Whereas in the previous Monster Hunters that I used to play, each little zone, and that was like a section of a map, was counted as like a separate loading screen. So now you go from like each biome to each biome for a loading screen.
Yeah.
So it feels more, I suppose, in a sense, an open sort of connected world.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just needed a drink. Where was I? I've just completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to turn this off in the background.
Talking about Monster Hunter and
you get sent and you have to do a situation where you fight a monster in the area to drive it off, etc. Then it sends you to another area to basically do the same thing, and you're constantly doing this back and forth between areas.
Yeah.
Or sections of the areas. You have like a main base camp in each area where obviously the smithy sets up and all the other sort of bits and bobs you'd usually expect, the item seller, etc. But there's also little pop-up camps that used to be the mini camps you found in the previous game.
Yeah. Okay.
But now you build your own one there. So it's like, do you want to put a pop-up camp in this location? And like, you can put stuff up, but the monsters will just smash it up.
Right.
So you'll be somewhere in the other area, and it'll be like, Conga Lala has just trashed your camp. And you're like, oh, did he? That's good, fun. Why bother then? Can't we just have you've unlocked a new teleportation point? Although the camps do act like more than that. You can cook food there and do other stuff, which the food is slightly different as well from how I believe it was in World, where you used to cook a meal before going out on a mission, and it would give you buffs for the mission.
Yeah.
Now you cook food, and it lasts for a set period of time.
Oh, okay.
Which is long enough to do a mission, but sometimes you can fit a couple of missions in, or sometimes you can be the middle of a mission and it's like, oh, your health's just lost a third because the meal's warm.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, nice, thanks for that.
Okay, yeah.
Massive bugbear is while you're doing all these story back and forths constantly, you don't unlock a lot of the basic features that were actually in the Monster Hunter games. So I couldn't upgrade my armor until I was partway through like chapter 2 or something.
Right.
So you obviously get armor spheres and you can use them to upgrade your armors. And then I was like, why can't I do that? Why isn't it coming up? I've got a ton of armor spheres here. Well, where's the thing? And it's like, look on Google, how do you upgrade? And it's like, oh, it's locked behind story quest. And it's like, why?
Okay.
Yeah. And I've played it for about 15 hours, and to now, I still haven't unlocked item crafting.
Oh, Jesus. Because you do too much side shit. That's probably why.
No, it's not necessarily.
I know you're like, mate.
And I basically Googled this as well. When do you unlock item crafting? You got to complete the fucking story.
Oh, Jesus.
To actually unlock crafting.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So it's like if you've got the ingredients on you when you're out in the field and you're picking them up,
yeah,
it auto crafts stuff for you. But you can't actually craft stuff in your box to take out with you when you go out.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got a pitfall, if you've got a trap tool and you've got like a spider web and ivy and stuff, you can't craft a pitfall trap to take out.
Ah.
So you've got to like hope to get them as like bonuses for logins and stuff. It's just bizarre. Like that's just crafting. Like you could do that in the old game. Out the bat.
Strange.
The fight of the monsters is still exceedingly satisfying. Although I'm not happy with some of the... It feels like the hammer has had some of its moves changed completely.
Right.
And that bugs me as a hammer user because I'm going to do certain attacks and it's just like not. And then I'll be partway through a spinning attack that I didn't actually do. But yeah, it won't do the spinning attack when I want it to do it like it used to in the old games. So they've obviously changed that. You can pick your own traps back up again, which is awesome. That is a quality of life that I was thoroughly enjoyed discovering. That might have been in World, but it's been a while since I played World, and this is obviously what's fresh in my head. But there used to be a load of times in the old games where you'd put a trap down because a monster was weak, and it'd just fuck off to another area, and you're like, oh, cheers for that. That's that trap wasted then, and you can only carry so many of you on a hunt. So yeah, being able to pick those back up again is awesome because you can just go back and reuse it.
Yeah, nice.
So it's like I say, I love the hunting gameplay and all of that lot. Some of the new monsters are really cool, but it feels like I said, with one of those things where it's like the evolution of a game, but it doesn't stay the same. Things change, and they're not always for the good in certain people's eyes. Like the game sold like hotcakes, so
it did,
it's going to continue and do really well. Another plus is it looks nowhere near as shit as it did in the beta.
Oh, visually. That's good, because I've been reading a lot of things.
It was horrendous. There's still,
I've reading that the PC version is a bit shitty.
I mean, there's still issues that will be ironed out. But you just sort of think to yourself, like, come on, this isn't. It's not even like a visually striking game.
Yeah.
Is it PS5 playing it on?
Yeah, PS5 on the Pro. So I'm using it, playing it in balanced, which is kind of like a above 1080p picture with a 40 FPS frame rate, which does feel smooth, to be honest. I have it uncapped, so whether it goes above that, I don't know. But I haven't noticed any horrendous hitches with it or anything like that. Another feature that, again, that I must have mentioned from the beta is the wound system. That's another really cool addition. Where obviously the more you attack a monster in a certain place, it opens up a wound, which you can then smash using special attack.
Okay.
Which gets you materials from said part that you've broken as well.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going to carry on doing it and get to the story so I can bloody unlock crafting to be able to go and do stuff properly. But because of the way the story quests are done and everything as well, you could literally be off hunting a monster and just think to yourself, that monster is pretty cool. What's its armor like? That's awesome. Sweet, I'll craft that. Nice one. Off we go. And then the story's like, right, now you're fighting this monster, which is the element your armor is the weakest to. But you didn't know that before going into this. I still much prefer the older system of like basic backstory, didn't really matter, and then you just work for a guild and you go out hunting monsters and you just, like, choose your quests and off you went.
Does the fighting the monsters take as long as it did in the old games? Because that was something that really annoyed me before.
No, that like most of the quests, like I play generally on my own, but if you're playing online, other people can randomly join you.
Yeah.
While you're doing a hunt. So you can send up SOS flares as well to call for backup for something you're hunting, which people in the hub area can then respond to.
Yeah.
Or if no one responds, it sends AI.
Oh, nice.
Like a couple of AI backups. Again, which ties into the sort of like factor that you get a lot more time where the enemy isn't focused on you.
Yeah.
This is obviously more about for its attention. You can do other things like interact with certain parts of the environment as well to pull rocks down on top of creatures to act as traps and things like that. But you've got to remember to do that. You've got to put your weapon away, get your caster out, and just do it like that. Or to do something where you got to hang on to something to avoid a monster's scripted event attack that it decides to do. And the bird, I hate the bird. thing that you ride. Generally, every time you get on the bloody thing, it pops up with a menu screen of like items and stuff like that. And you just think, yeah, that's really useful in the middle of a fight, you tit. And if you push the wrong button, you'll switch weapon. Sometimes you don't notice, and it's like, oh, why have I now got the wrong weapon? Oh, I've got to call the bird back out and get the right weapon out. Like, we didn't necessarily need. I get it's a bonus. You can change weapons midway through a battle if you feel like it. And you can whetstone on it and everything, but it basically acts as like a complete guide for you. It just drags you straight to the monsters. So when the monsters run and go to another area, they instantly know where it is, and the creature, like the bird, will just follow it.
Oh, that's handy.
It kind of removes the hunter from Monster Hunter.
It's simplifying the game for all you old school gamers on Monster Hunter. Yeah, I get that.
And while you're on the secrets back, you feel like you're fighting against it. Also, you might be going through a certain area in the story, and it's like slow walking, and everyone's talking. And you'd go over and you're like, oh, what's that item over there? That looks pretty good. And as soon as you start moving off, it's like, where you going, mate? You're going the wrong way. And it's like pulls you back. And it's like, just let me go into an area and explore it and have fun, per se. But it feels like the whole story is just sort of like a weird long sort of tutorial. We just kind of like, yeah, I get this. Can I just skip to the actual main game, please? I'm not too fussed about all of the story events going on and such, because I don't know.
Cool, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I'd say I thoroughly enjoy it still because it's a Monster Hunter game, but I can't not help gripe about the things that I dislike.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Nice. Very nice. All right. Well, I've only really played one other game properly. And that's really, I bought it for the Steam Deck. And that's Suikoden remasters. So Suikoden 1 and 2, they did a remastered collection. Never played these games on the PS1 back in the day, and they are regarded as some of the best JRPGs ever made. I've only played about 3 hours, so I can't really say much. But what I want to say is my initial impressions are very positive. Obviously, I love JRPGs. I love those old school JRPGs. I've not actually seen what it looks like on the PS1, but I think it looks nice because it's obviously the old school kind of graphics, like the pixelated graphics of kind of Super Nintendo style, I'd say. With a big world map to explore and lots of towns. And so far, the story's really, really cool. So I think the gist of it is, you have to build an army, so you have to go and recruit all these people. So there's like over 100 characters to play as or something. I've literally only just beaten the first hard boss of the game, this big dragon, and that took me 2 attempts. And then I've only just got my base, and I've just had it explained to me about doing the recruiting and all this sort of stuff. But at the minute, I think it's really cool that they've done this, because I picked it up on PC to play on the Steam Deck, and these old school kind of JRPGs are perfect for handhelds, I think, because of that kind of simplified graphics, the turn-based combat, etc. It's hard to imagine that this came out the same year as Final Fantasy VII originally, and I never played these. And these have been recommended to me many times in the past, but obviously PS1, old now. The fact I can play on the Steam Deck is great. So far, so good. It's that, it's that very old school JRPG mentality of, you got that big open world, you got this epic story, everything is leveled, so you level your guys, you upgrade your weapons, you get magic and stuff like that, turn-based combat, absolutely loving it. So that's all I wanted to say on it, really, because I've not only played a few hours, but I just wanted to mention that my initial impressions of it are very, very positive. And again, there's that price discrepancy as well, because I believe on console it's like 40 quid, and I paid £26 for it. So, bargain, I feel. And just to finish up, with the kids, I played some Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. This game is pretty fun. So if you like Tetris, it's pretty cool. So it's like a 2-player versus thing, like what me and Marcus were playing. But you can play this thing like Tetris, or there's this game mode called Puyo Puyo, and it's basically like Tetris, but you got these little weird faces, and instead of like lines, it's like you've got to like get like a grid, like match them up like 4 of these colours, but they don't have to be in a straight line, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, isn't there another sort of game like that in Yakuza? We use cannons to blow up blocks that have to fall down, like a Tetris kind of thing.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
Chain explosions and stuff.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. But yeah, great little game, because obviously it's great for the handheld, but I bought it for his Steam account, so we could both play versus and have a screen each. So we were sitting there yesterday just playing that, and it was fucking hilarious. Really, really fun. So yeah, really enjoyed that. A bit of Fall Guys as well, still a great game. Me and Marcus were playing that on each, doing duos on Fall Guys, and that's still a fun game. It's free to play. And that's it. That's what I've been playing. So,
have you actually played anything decent?
Oh, you slag. You slag.
I mean, we need to get back on Sniper Elite at some point when I resubscribe. I'll let you know when I resubscribe.
Yeah, well, when you
back on it.
Yeah, when you resubscribe, mate. I mean, I've still got it installed, so I'm all ready to rock and roll whenever. As we were mentioning before the podcast as well, I did pick up Space Marine 2. It's on sale on Steam at the minute. So I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to be playing that in the week. Co-op. So that's going to be fun. You've already said that you might play. Frosty says he'll play, and I think who else said that they'd play?
Graham at some point. I know he did, but it depends on work and stuff.
And Daddy Ikin, the Million Gamer Score man, says he wants to play it as well. So definitely a few people that want to play that. So that'd be quite good. So I just need Peebs to pick up Space Marine 2, and we'll
it's a bit
I'm
pricey.
sure you'll enjoy it. Yeah, you'll love the game.
I mean, there's a trial on there, so I could just download the trial and have a go. Like I say, I'll probably like it, but it's the price point at the minute. But I probably will subscribe back to Xbox, because that Atomfall comes out, doesn't it, at the end of this month?
There's 6 games out this month I'm getting. I was just like, wow. Like,
really?
That's almost old school style.
Yeah. What's coming out that you're interested in then?
Bleach, which is out in like 2 weeks, I think.
Never heard of it.
No.
Atomfall, I know, is coming out. Atelier Yumia is also coming out. Killing Floor 3 is also out, as is Dead or Alive Venus Vacation in Japan, and the physical Japanese copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 Remaster.
Well, I'm looking forward to Expedition 33 that's coming out next month.
Next month, yeah. That's been getting really good previews, hasn't it?
And I can't believe that's coming to Game Pass day one as well. That's a pretty good get for Xbox for that, because I was going to buy it, and then
Atomfall in there.
Yeah. And then D-Twin in the Discord was like, you do realise it's on Game Pass? I was like, oh, I forgot about that. Wicked. Yeah. That's the only game I'm really looking forward to is Expedition 33. I can't think of anything else, personally, that I really want to...
What's that about, then? Can't say I've even heard of that.
Based sort of RPG.
Ugh, that's why, then.
Yeah,
it's made by a French studio, but it looked beautiful, like the
Yeah.
art style and
Yeah.
the way that the game's kind
And
of
the
done.
story sounds pretty funky as well. It's like this witch, and there's a timer that counts down on this island, and well, there's like and then everyone that age dies. So it's basically every year there's an expedition of the people the age that are going to die like the next, and they want to try and kill her. So you're the next expedition. You go to the island to try and kill this witch that's killing all the people. And it just looks weird and wacky, man. It just looks really super interesting, to be honest.
Speaking of which, there was a gameplay as well, wasn't there? Like a light look at Hell Is Us this week as well.
Oh, was there?
Which is out later this year. It's kind of like a 6-minute thing showing the exploration. Then they're basically saying the game has no objective markers and things like that. They just want to put you off, and it's up to you to deduce to what you're going to do with it. Do you look for secrets and things, or do you just sort of like randomly find your way through the world?
Nice. Is that all we've played then, guys?
I think so, mate, yeah.
Oh, I've only got 3... Oh, sorry, go on, Darren.
Yeah, no, I was going to say First Descendant I played a bit of as well, and that's getting a new DLC, I think, this coming week.
Nice.
I believe there's a login event coming up which either allows you to unlock an ultimate character or outfits for another character if you already own that one.
Very nice.
Adding a new Descendant and other bits and bobs, but yeah, it's what it is. It's a live service.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, I've only got 3 bits of news. So, first one is Forza Horizon 5 is obviously coming to PS5 shortly. One thing that might upset PlayStation fanboys is that you need a Microsoft account to play the game. So, when you log into the game, it will force you to either log into your Microsoft account or create one. And this is to enable crossplay and stuff, apparently. So, but I still think it's a bit shitty, to be honest.
It's kind of random.
A lot of games do this, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming out April 29th. But, yeah, that's what I was a bit shit, but it's what it is. More news about games coming to PlayStation from Xbox is that there's a Gears of War collection coming to PlayStation. Apparently,
it's still a rumor,
and it's going to be PS5 Pro enhanced, but it's not going to have online multiplayer. Apparently, which is a bit strange.
You'd expect one of the games to have online multiplayer.
Yeah, it says unfortunately, however, it looks like the trilogy will come without multiplayer. So we'll just have the co-op, but not the multiplayer.
At least it'll have the Horde and stuff in there, I guess. Which means no multiplayer trophies.
Yeah. And my last bit of news is there's been more layoffs at PlayStation. PlayStation Studio Visual Arts has been hit with more layoffs amid further restructuring of Sony's US game development operations. Yeah. So there's more stuff going down there. More layoffs going on at PlayStation. That's all my news. Which was nice and quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, I do have a question for Darren. Peeps, you weren't on last week either, were you? Or were you? I can't remember.
No,
you weren't.
I did listen to last week. So.
Good. So you are prepared. You are mentally prepared for this question.
Nothing.
Okay.
Really.
So let me. So people might not know. So it's actually a good question for you, for both of you, and we got some good answers last week. Is obviously PC gaming is becoming more and more popular. It's easier to game on PC now. Games are vastly cheaper than their console counterparts, etc. Is there anything that would push either of you, to consider PC gaming at all? I know, Darren, the digital library doesn't appeal to you.
Absolutely not at all, mate. You don't own anything.
No, because you don't.
For free to play
PC,
games,
you don't.
yeah. if for free to play games, yeah, I kind of understand it because they're like that on everything. But not.
I mean,
for,
you don't on the PC. You don't
games.
actually buy physical games anymore, do you? Can you actually buy the physical games?
No, they
I
don't
even
exist.
laugh that they're still called video games now because unless you're buying it physically, it's not technically a video game. Because that was what they were called, video games. It was something you popped into something and played it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just something that was loaded onto a box.
Well, we call them computer games, mate, but, you know.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much what you touched on last week. I don't think I'd ever bother. It's just like you say, it's having a desk and sitting at a computer. I don't do that for jobs, so that aspect doesn't bother me. But I like just sitting in my chair, feet up, with the screen, with a big screen on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sat up at a desk.
That's fair.
And like you saying earlier with Marcus, like building it, that don't appeal to me. I don't want to build. I just want to get out the box, set it up, play. I don't want to be building stuff.
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
Technically, you can buy pre-built PCs now. That's pretty much what the new sort of technical Steam box is. If they do like another little version, I've heard rumours of. It's just going to be like a pre-built PC using certain components.
Yeah,
cards, etc.
Well, that's what's like.
I mean, you don't have to piss about with the drivers and boot up sequences and XEEs and all that kind of stuff like you used to back in the day.
It is a pretty much plug and play experience now, but I was just interested
it's
because
also one of those things, because I've got so many like games sat here that are still to play. So even like we've always said, haven't we? Like, if there's no game releases for like a year or 2 years. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I've got like shitloads of stuff to play.
Yeah.
Still.
Definitely.
Even longer than that, you could probably just keep going and going. Like all the RPGs and stuff could take you ages to go through. I mean, I was watching a video the other day about like the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And the guy was obviously playing Pirate Yakuza and he was like, I absolutely love this. And maybe one day when I'm living my second life, I will have enough time to maybe go back and play all the other Yakuza games.
Oh, no, they're long as fuck. Yeah, I know.
Etc.
Yeah. I just find it interesting, like all the reasonings, as I said last week, you see. I mean, because on a personal level, I've got the space at the minute, you know, for a desk and all that. I work from home, so it's already there, you know what I mean? And I just like the money saving I have with the games being a lot cheaper.
I mean, that part of it is appealing, I guess.
But sitting at a desk, I know what you mean, because I get to a stage, even like, because I sit up here all day during the day for work, and in the evening I'm like, I fucking don't want to sit up here anymore. You know what I mean? So even I get like that.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be like that, though, does it? You can still have your PC just hooked up to your telly and just play it like a console.
Oh, yeah, you could do. Steam big picture mode as an example. Yeah,
the other sort of thing is, as well, is it's sort of like a worry, but it'll get better over time, is the power consumption. Like, some PCs can be an absolute beast on power consumption, and electricity these days isn't exactly cheap.
Well, my electric... I mean, I work from home all day. My electric bill is not actually that bad. And you think I charge an electric car as well, so...
Because I know there was rumours at one point that there's certain parts of America wouldn't allow people to have certain custom-built parts for PCs because of the power consumption.
Yeah.
Which is why you obviously need a lot of liquid cooling and such in things, because you've got so much trying to run under the hood and everything.
Yeah, those are silly builds, mate. That's not your standard computer. But no, it's just
we've seen time and time again, you don't necessarily need all those things to make fantastic looking stuff as it is anyway. Like there's been fantastic looking games since the end of the 360, sort of beginning of this era now.
Oh yeah.
And we've said before, haven't we? Like it's generally only visual fidelity and sort of like HDR and that have been the big sort of things that have come in. Like the graphical style of stuff hasn't really changed too much.
Yeah. Well, I think you've answered my questions, guys. Definitely, it's all good. I just think with the price, like I just like in my mind, right? I think I'm a little bit concerned about next gen, the pricing. You look at the price of the PS5 Pro, which you've both got, £700. Add on another 100 for a disc drive. It's 800 quid. You know, and in my mind, I'm like, well, for an extra couple of £100, I could build a really good PC, and I don't have to pay to play online, and my games are like half the price. You know what I mean? And I just think, well, because what consoles used to be 300 quid or whatever, and then the games would be a little bit more expensive for the, you know, so like PlayStation or Xbox to recoup some of those costs. But, you know, this is now my new future concern about consoles, is their pricing structures. That's all.
Yeah, the next generation is going to be, I mean, it's the Pro 700, like say an 800 with the disc, with the thing. They're going to be around that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be around that sort of price point.
So if you think, well, you get a PS6, it's 800 quid. Just say, then you got to pay your yearly subscription to play online. Then your games are like 70 quid each. You know what I mean? Whereas well, it depends, right? Say if you're buying them.
If you buy physically, I've never paid 6-7. Like, this is the other thing that's hilarious. Like, I have no idea. I will say this: I have no idea if you buy digital games why you don't have a PC.
Yeah.
Like, if you're buying just digital games, get a PC for fuck's sake. Why are you paying more money for your digital products than you are? If you want physical games, you buy a console. But you don't pay that 70 quid. Like, if you buy a physical copy, like there's like Pirate Yakuza, it's like 55 quid on the digital, or you can get it 40 quid, physical copy off certain places.
Yeah, of course.
And you get to keep that, do with what you want. You can sell it on, so you can get money back on it. You can't ever get money back on digital purchases.
Yeah. So anyway, let's just like, you know, so in my mind, I'm like, well, 800 quid, you're paying a yearly online fee, your games are more expensive anyway, be it 50, 60, 70 quid, whatever, right? Then I think to myself, well, I could build a PC for, say, £1,000, you know, just like a mid-range. I don't have to pay to play online. I can go on cdkeys.com and get my games for like 30 quid. And that, you know, and I'm sorted, you know what I mean? So that's a cost that's going to be a cost saving over 3 or 4 years. Massive. So it's like, you know, there's not really a negative there apart from having space and having a desk and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just find it interesting where console gaming has gone or is going. You know,
because you've always got Nintendo that are going to be the outliers.
Of course, yeah, but it'd be interesting to see much the
which is like the light in the dark, where I'm just kind of like, well, at least if like the PlayStation and that goes in a shit direction, then hopefully Nintendo won't, and I'll just support them and go over to there and leave all my PS stuff as it is and to go back to what I want.
Because it even used to be the case, like consoles used to be, you turn it on and you play. Like I've had so many experiences turning on my Xbox or my PlayStation. I just want to have a quick 20-minute session on something. I turn it on. I hadn't turned it on for a few weeks. Oh, you need to do a system update. That takes like 15 fucking minutes. Oh, you need to update your game. Oh, I'm like, fucking hell, man. You don't even get any gaming in.
I came home from work the other week, turned on my telly, and it sat there on an update screen for 10 minutes, updating my fucking TV.
What?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's this new smart TV bullshit. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, you just update your telly now. And it's like, I don't want you to update my telly. I don't give a shit about updates for my telly.
Jesus.
It's fine as it is. Can't you just make things that are fine as they are instead of keep fondling them? So it's like it's all slightly different now, the interface and all that. Like it's like, oh, it's been updated to whichever version. It's like, don't care.
Just don't connect your TV online, mate. Just don't connect it. And just use like a Fire Stick or something.
I kind of get that, but it's irritating. Again, it's another one of them things where it's like, stop getting in my way, technology. You're not supposed to get in my way. You're supposed to improve things.
I know what you mean.
I was like, even back in the day when I used to have to turn on the telly, get up to physically punch the big buttons on the side that would pop in, you know what I mean, to change the channel. At least when I turned on the telly and pushed that button, oh, it's on, it's working, there we go. Not sitting there for ages doing a poxy update.
Yeah.
Just don't worry, I'll just put everything on hold, shall I, while you just go through this nonsense.
Oh dear. Anyway, on that moan session at the end, anything else you guys want to say before we end?
Good stuff coming out, hopefully, with any luck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty happy with my library at the minute. I'll say Suikoden 1 or 2 will keep me going. Space Marine 2, Pirate Yakuza not finished yet, and Suikoden 1, as I say, Suikoden, Arma. Yeah, loads to play, mate. It's a good time. It's a good time for video games, in my opinion.
This year could be actually quite busy if we're already sort of getting quite a few games coming out by like the end of March, like the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm just glad there's some good ones coming to Game Pass. I don't just open up the wallet as much.
Did that Split Fiction end up on Game Pass? Or
no,
it's out now, isn't it?
It's been getting really good reviews as well.
Well, which one of his, like we said this before, didn't we? Like his games have always like done really well and been received really well.
Yeah, I really want to play it. Let's just say I have it installed on my PC, but I haven't actually played it yet. But Wes,
you're gonna go for it with the other half.
Yeah, so Wes has picked it up and he's completed it over a couple of play sessions. He says it's amazing. I mean, I really liked the last game they did. I can't remember the fucking name of it now. Not It Takes. Was it It Takes Two?
It Takes Two, yeah.
Yeah.
Before that was No Way Out, wasn't it?
Both brilliant games. So they're a really good dev, and I really like the look of this one because again, it's a co-op game, and I think those do a good job on this because it's like, say if I bought it, Peebs could download it on his Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and then we could both play together, which is pretty cool. So only one person needs to own a copy if you're playing it online. But I've always played these couch co-op and always had a really good time on them. So I'm going to try and play it this week if I can. But again, it's I think it's the highest reviewed game of the year so far as well, which is nuts. Yeah, it looks great. It really does.
What did Monster Hunter get then? Like in the late 80s, early 90s kind of thing?
I think got in the low 90s. Let me just have a look. Split Fiction got 91 on there, and Monster Hunter got a 90 on Metacritic. Yeah, so very, very, very close. So yeah. I think like Kingdom Come got like 80 or 89 or something like that. So that's been another banger this year as well, apparently.
Yeah, that's been, yeah.
Yeah,
another large one.
Yeah, I've not picked that up yet, so I haven't got the fucking time. So
Elliot went through the original, didn't he?
Yeah, went for the original and he's banged out the second one as well in a space of a couple of weeks. Yeah, he's finished it, yeah. Cool. Okay, on that note.
Don't worry, GTA 6 is still coming this year, boys.
Yeah, all right, if you say so. Anyway, guys, on that note, I think we're at the end. I'd like to thank you both for coming on. It's been awesome as always. Big thank you to those people that have stuck with us on the Twitch. And yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. It's been awesome. We will see you next week. Goodbye.